Good evening, appreciate you waiting around. Disappointing night for us. We wanted to win for our program and for our seniors. Always got to take full responsibility as a head coach and as an organization. Started off slow and obviously it didn't go well. Appreciate the effort in the second half, guys trying to make something happen, but not nearly enough. So, questions?
Coach, what did you tell the team in the locker room knowing that the season ends today?
Well, the first thing is you have to acknowledge seniors, because even though it's a painful night, there's guys that have been in there for 4 and 5 years, some 3 years, some just got here, and some have been through a lot. A lot of change. Some have been through injuries. Some guys are on the sideline on crutches, on wheelies, whatever those things are. And you always want great things for them in terms of the way it ends. And it's important to acknowledge and thank those guys. So that was the first message. The fact that those guys, they deserve that from every player, so that every player goes and sees those guys and thanks them. And then after that, the reality that setting a standard comes with laying a foundation, and sometimes it's really painful, and that's where we are. And that the standards that we set are high, and they're to be uncompromised, and they will continue to be uncompromised. And we'll set them high and higher each and every year, and we've got to work to get to there. There's no way around it. There's no fluff, and there's no sugarcoating it. We're not there now, and certainly we've got work to do.
Mario, what does it say about Tyler that he fought his way to come back and play tonight, and then how disappointing was he to only have that last one drive?
Well, it was very, I know it sounds like a broken record, but the last time, he was healthy, he practiced well, he was cleared medically. You check that 10 times over to make sure, but it was something that was really painful for him after he had taken that shot on the interception. And so it was frustrating. Yes, obviously you saw, what a good player he is, and it's been painful not having him for a good part of the season, but confidence and faith in your other guys, and you do everything you possibly can to generate some points and some yards. We didn't do a good enough job at all. We put a lot of pressure on the defense. They were busting their butts.
Did you see the replay of the hit on Tyler, and did you think it was dirty at all? It looked like the Pitt player kind of pushed his arm down.
I couldn't tell you. We were moving pretty quickly with a sudden change, so I did not get to see it. I saw it live, and it just looked like part of ball. So I don't know. I know that it was critically important to protect him. They're bringing cover 0 there. There's going to be somebody free with what we called there, trying to get the ball to the tight end. And so it's a race to get it off and avoid the hit, and we didn't do a good enough job.
Mario, how do you attack everything that has to be done now for the next 2 weeks? You're going to assess the staff, you're going to look at the portal, you've got recruiting.
Directly.
Finish. How do you juggle?
Yeah, it's coming in, the plan was always the plan. Always was. Try to make sure you do everything possible to win every game, right? While you lay a foundation, not compromise anything. And you know your starting point now. You know where you are at different spots and different positions. The areas that need massive improvement, other ones that showed improvement. From a personnel standpoint, what you need to go get and accessing it whatever way possible, high school, junior college, transfer portal, whatever it may be. Portal's a two-way street, in and out both. So those are conversations that you always have, and you always are very respectful about, your roster and the moves that need to be made. So the work never stops, and the level of commitment and effort and resiliency that goes with it will be unmatched.
Mario, you've talked about your process and how you evaluate players and what goes into everything with the portal, recruiting, all that stuff. But what about how do you evaluate the staff here in the
like I have every single year, by what we do and how we do it as it relates to everything. Performance on the field, performance off the field, performance in recruiting. That's how you evaluate your staff.
Do you get this to where you want it to be, just from recruiting, development, building the culture, or does a season like this make you reassess scheme, philosophy, anything like that?
You reassess everything in terms of, because I understand the questions and the way they're directed. And you know, moves are always discussed privately. We don't make the business of our organization as it relates to anything and everything public. It's just not, it's not respectful. So in terms of us, in terms of what I see it as, I think it's I have a pretty fair idea coming in, you know, and some of it a little bit better, some of it not as good. It just, but that's in terms of assessment, not judgment. I think there's a lot of guys that have tried really, really hard. And then some other areas where we just got to get a whole lot better. You know, our roster certainly has to get deeper. The way that we coach has got to get better. You know, we've had success at the different places we've been at, but it didn't translate, you know, in year one over here. Some of that's expected, and some of the other stuff we can do better. So everything is always assessed at the end of the year, and it's done professionally. It's done carefully, meticulously. It's not done shooting from the hip and stuff of that nature. You know, everything is really looked into deep and making sure that we're doing the right thing, the best that we can possibly do by the players in the program.
Mario, you used 3 quarterbacks all year. How much more information that you have now on these 3 quarterbacks that will give you more of an idea of what you're going through now that you know what hand you've been dealt here?
Well, we used 3 because one got hurt
Right, I
for the
understand
majority
that.
of 6 games, you know, and we saw that there's a lot of promise in both those guys. I mean, Jake's got tremendous guts, and he made some unbelievable throws tonight, you know, and Jakari, you saw what he could do when we played over at Georgia Tech as well. So you have a lot of film to assess and evaluate. Plus, even more so than that, you watch guys every single day in the locker room and in practice, and you make your assessments and your judgments and your decisions based on that as well. You know, there is, you know, that describes it pretty much.
Thank you.
Does that make sense?
Sorry. Without revealing, do you have an idea of what Tyler's going to decide?
That's a discussion with Tyler, his family, and myself, to be respectful of him and his family.
So a few more for Coach.
Coach, would you have done anything different year one coming to a close? Anything that you think that should have been done better, or how do you evaluate yourself as year one in year one?
Well, we didn't accomplish our goal of being in the postseason, so obviously, you know, we didn't live up to our own expectation. You know, it's hard. We've all been in the postseason for the last decade or so as a head coach or as an assistant coach. So in taking on this situation, it's nothing but excitement. And for me, it's nothing but drive and determination going forward. Sorry, guy, I don't get fazed or flustered by what needs to be done. This is some work to do now, you know? It's important to assess reality, right? It's important to look at exactly each and every position and performance and everything that goes with it and what needs to be done to improve it and elevate a program. That's what rebuilding a program is all about, and this is rebuilding a program. You know, we do not need to kid ourselves and pretend that this program has built. This program has had to be rebuilt. So, whether it be from a recruiting standpoint, schematic standpoint, culture standpoint, toughness standpoint, resiliency standpoint, there's no need to BS ourselves. We won't do that. We gotta get to work with tough-minded people, talented, tough-minded people. And you know what? That's uncomfortable for some people, and that's all right. So, there's no flinching here.
Mario, do you have interviews now with each of the players? And, you know, what's that process like? And also, do you have an idea of how many players will be entering the transfer pool?
Process is normal every year. We meet with every single player. Remember that the portal, as I mentioned, is a two-way street. Not everybody's asked to return. You know, understanding from a media standpoint, you guys have to go with what you feel you hear or you feel is what it is. Not everybody is asked to return.
Mario, what would be your message to recruits, to fans, to anyone about the confidence you have that this can get rebuilt?
The reality is that this is what we do and what we're very, very good at. And and that the starting point is what it is. There's some really good foundation blocks that are already set. There's some really good players, a small core of players that are tough, that are talented, and that want to be really great. I thought Cam Kitchen said it best in the locker room as he left, you know, called up everybody and told them how much he loved them, and that, you know, we're gonna get it done, and anyone that can't or doesn't want to be a part of that, move fast and get out the way. That's what it takes. That's what it's taken at Miami every single time. Every single time Miami's been rebuilt, or our last couple stops the exact same way. And that's what it's gonna take. No fluff, no proclamations, no declarations, no tweets. Just gotta get back to work and gotta make sure that we continue to develop, fill the roster with the right people, high caliber, tough-minded guys, and make sure that we're doing the right things as coaches. We gotta take it together. You can't just put it on its entire as a program, starting with myself. That's what leaders are supposed to do. Own it, eat it, grow from it, and go get better. Miami will be a championship program.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you.